right then. Did he say at ease?
At ease.
I'm not sure that put me at ease.
Everybody shut up and started listening.
Yeah, no, I got it. Got it.
I want to welcome you to tonight's gathering and another rally, another evening of concerns expressed. My name is Daphne Hamburg, and I'm just one of the folks involved in this series of get-togethers. We ended up with a much nicer evening than I expected, so we have a whole variety of concerns that we are facing and trying to address. Tonight's really focuses on democracy and specifically on defending the Constitution. And we are gathered for one purpose, to demonstrate our commitment to and our concerns about democracy here in the United States. And relatedly, we are focusing on the Constitution and the impact that Trump and others are having on that Constitution and on the legal system itself. Democracy, this is not news to anyone here. Democracy is in trouble. The Constitution is in trouble. The legal system is in trouble. We're in trouble. And democracy must be reclaimed and redirected to reflect the power and the needs of all. We have a series of people here tonight to make some comments clarifying and describing these concerns from a variety of different vantage points. Our first speaker is Mark Anderson, and I asked him what his topic is going to be. And he said, I'm a retired attorney and I shouldn't have to be here. Mark.
Hey, Mark.
I'm a retired attorney. I say that for no other purpose than to tell you what I've done all my life. I don't know anything really more than any of the rest of you. Let's see, I'm here because I was invited by Mary Hinnenkamp, not for my credentials, but because she thought she needed a different face instead of the same one. So here it is.
And it's a really good face. Really good face.
Thank you, Mary. I wish my mother was here to listen to that. All right, back in about 1776, our country became a democracy, I think. We won the war for independence. But it wasn't until 1787 that we actually got a constitution. Right away, they had to amend that bugger. And we got the first few amendments. It wasn't perfect. People of enslaved, black people, indigenous people were a percentage of a real human being, I guess. But over time, it was fixed. Women could not vote, but over time, it was fixed. And over the years, it seems like we've recognized with each court the rights of we here as individuals. If it hadn't gone any further, I can truly say I shouldn't have to be here. But, but here's the punchline. We had court decisions that said that the president of the United States is immune from prosecution for things he does during his presidency. Someone once said you can shoot somebody on Broadway and never suffer any penalty. Recently I was listening to a speech or a presentation that had been made by a Trump lawyer, and the question was whether the Trump administration would follow court orders of lower courts. And the answer was generally, yes. Now that's what you call damnation by faint praise. Okay, so suddenly I shouldn't have to be here. But you know what? You guys shouldn't have to be here either. We shouldn't have to be here either. Interesting thing is, you know, there's no specific language about the right to protest in the Constitution. It's cobbled together by saying we have the right of peaceful assembly. have the right to free speech. And what you're doing here, and you've done for several weeks, months now, is really important. None of us, we wish we wouldn't have to be here, but we have to be here. Keep up the good work. It's going to take time, but people will notice. People notice. And I think the voters at the ballot box are going to start saying more and more, yes, we've got to change. The country is going in the wrong direction. And here endeth the gospel according to St. Mark.
We shouldn't have to be here, but thank you for being here.
Just ask my wife.
Okay. The next speaker is Mary Hinnenkamp, and we are trading equipment here. Mary's talking about authoritarianism.
Go, Mary. Thank you. Okay, can you hear me? Whoa! Can you hear me? Everybody can hear me? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So, I'm Mary Hinnenkamp, and I'm a retired teacher. And for many years, I taught English and I taught some social studies. And when I taught social studies, there was something I taught the kids. I taught the kids that the Constitution is a sacred document. I taught them that there are three co-equal branches of government. There's a Congress. The Congress makes the laws, it sets taxation, and that's their power. They have the power to curse. There's the judiciary, the judicial branch, and they settle disputes, they declare if laws are constitutional, and then there's the executive branch, and the job, the one that Trump has, is supposed to be to enforce the laws. However, what's happening is Trump has decided to usurp these powers. He has taken away Congress's power, and I blame people like our Congressman Finstad for that. He has just sort of let it happen. And, you know, like that last bill, all it took was one vote to stop the Medicaid cut, and he went along with Trump. So we have a Congress that's not doing their job, and so he is usurping their power. He would like to usurp the power of the judiciary. He has arrested a judge, had a judge arrested. He has threatened them with impeachment, and he has defied court order, a Supreme Court order, when they ordered several orders actually. One in which he was told that the plane should come back, and they ignored it. I mean, they ignored the order. So we have a president who wants to usurp all of this power for himself. So, I'm just going to look at my notes here for a second. The last thing is the emoluments clause. And basically it means the president shouldn't be corrupt. He shouldn't be taking money from other countries. He shouldn't be accepting claims. And he shouldn't be giving away pardons for $1 million. But he is. Okay. So he's selling off the presidency. So my thoughts are this. Sum it up here. He wants to be a dictator. That's his goal. He wants to be a dictator.
Yeah, he does.
And what stands between him and that authoritarian type urging has is two things. What is the courts? The courts can block him and overrule him and stop him, and in some cases they have. And the other thing is us. It's us. It's us that stands for the Constitution and protects it. So, when I say this, will you repeat it after me? We say no. No kings, no dictators.
No
Kings, no dictators.
Do it again. No kings, no dictators. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
George Washington was offered to be king of the United States and he turned it down. He said we needed a president, not a king.
We're going to continue now with Joni Klein, who's going to be talking, I understand, about due process.
Right up in there.
I'm Jody Klein.
Right up in there.
Jody Klein. I'm no professional. I'm just an average citizen that is very concerned about everything that's going on.
Woo!
The due process is the area I was supposed to be touching on, so I kind of wrote something up, so bear with me, okay? The U.S. Constitution is not a pretty picture to hang above a fireplace in the Oval Office. It is the basis for our American dreams to come true, giving us rights, liberty, and justice for all. Our forefathers crafted this document as a means to fight tyranny that can occur when a king is in charge. I'm very concerned that Trump believes that he has the ability to take full power, and our representatives are doing nothing to stop it. In fact, in the big ugly bill, Congress is trying to bypass the court's authority and allow Trump to decide if he needs to follow their orders. In times like these, we need to remember there's three branches of government: the president, Congress, and the courts, which seems to be our last stand. Thank God for our forefathers had the insight to allow us the rights to due process through the courts. We are not allowed to assume that somebody's guilt by just saying so. It has to be proven with facts. The Trump administration seems to miss this step. They tried to convince the public it's only the worst criminals that would be deported. However, as soon we found out that it's not just criminals, it's hardworking fathers, business owners, taxpayers, mothers with small children, gays, and U.S. citizens. These people are allowed due process by our Constitution. They deserve the right to defend themselves in court, just like Trump. Innocent until proven guilty. We must stop this abuse and fight for everyone's life, our rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I guess that means I'm woke and damn proud of it.
Woo! Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joni. Fantastic. Our last speaker, before we move into the second part of the program, no worry, chance, is Ted Himmelkamp, who's going to be talking about the Alien Enemies Act.
Hey, Ted.
Hi everybody, I'm Ted.
Right up in there, Ted.
There you go.
Pretty much.
And I'm here because I worked 42 years for the Legal Aid Office, and I've been asked to talk about the Alien Enemies Act. And what I did is I found this terrific court decision. 90% of court decisions or more right now are against Donald Trump. And this judge's decision on the Alien Enemies Act in 1798 from U.S. District Court Judge Alvin Hellerstein, who was an Army JAG Corps first lieutenant in the past. The guy's 91 years old, and he's the judge, and he granted a preliminary injunction and an order setting out point by point why the Alien Enemies Act does not apply as facts of the law are not followed. And what he's deciding here is that it's illegal and unconstitutional to send any of the migrants to arrest them and deport them because the Alien Enemies Act does not support the president's opinion. Okay, there's several things that don't apply, as there isn't any war between the United States and a foreign nation. There is no invasion or predatory incursion. The Alien Enemies Act gives aliens a reasonable time to self-deport and settle their affairs. subject to removal under the AEA, the Alien Enemies Act, are entitled to notice and opportunity to be heard, and none of them had that opportunity. If we're ordered that they have to receive notice after the date of the order, that they are subject to removal under the Alien Enemies Act, it must be afforded within a reasonable time frame, and all the issues that they're alleging have to be brought in front of a court for anybody to be recorded. I took some notes from the decision. It's just a terrific decision. There's so much fantastic things that this judge has to say. There wasn't any proof of any kind of issue related to them being from a foreign country to here to take over the United States of America. It's just a bunch of nonsense. But anyway, the Alien and Enemies Act is important that judges are going to uphold this kind of orders, because I think any one of us could be arrested under the way that the proclamation was issued. Okay.
Thank you, Ted.
I'm an oldest child, I keep on time, and I'm bossy, so. Anybody else?
I spent over 20 years in the Army fighting for everybody's right to be free in this country. And now we have a president that wants to take those rights from us. And not only that, calls me a loser. And he's the one who declared bankruptcy. I know I'm not. My wife said I'm not supposed to say this.
You go ahead and say it.
But he's the one who declared bankruptcy a couple times. Still kept his penthouse apartment, his limo, and his driver.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
This great businessman bankrupted casinos.
Yeah.
How do you bankrupt a casino?
Yeah.
Can we hear from the little girl that wants more than $2? That's awesome.
Okay. I just want to say many, many thanks to you all for being here. My portion of the program is done. So I am going to turn it over to Angie.